over our Alaska chainsaw mill. So right now it's set up to cut 1.5 inch boards, but I'm going to set it up to cut bigger ones for my first cut. So what I want to do is loosen these guys. And then rather than measure or use the scale that's here, I don't know, that's just fiddly and I guess I'm lazy. I'll show you what I do. Okay, get them all nice and loose. 1/2 inch speed wrench. I put these guys underneath. Okay. And that's for my first cut because I have my little homemade jig that I set on the log, which will go out in a minute. Set it on the log. But first, I have to sharpen the chain. So sharpening the chain, we've got these blocks here that go on the bar. Keep the bar up so the chain runs freely. So we loosen these screws. Okay. Saw. Okay, so I stick my saw in the vise. Not very high tech. So you can see I have a green link. That's what I always go off of. Can you zoom in a little on the teeth? Can you see how this tooth and this tooth are skinny and then fat, fat, skinny, skinny? Mm-hmm. Can you see that? That's a special chain that they make for the chainsaw mill. It supposedly gives you a better cut. I don't know. I've never had any chain except this one. This is my first chain, by the way. I have a spare chain over there for when this one wears out, but as the title of the movie today will be, we've cut a little over $1,000 worth of boards, and this chain's not even probably half of its life. So we're gonna go ahead and sharpen it real quick. And every other time I sharpen, I do a little touch on the razors. CLMS 390, kind of an old saw, had it for probably 10 years. It's not quite the size they want for running a chainsaw mill, so I put a 24-inch bar on it instead of the 32 that was on it, and I take it easy. Most of our logs are really small, so the saw seems to be doing good. If the saw does give it up though, I'm sure my wife will buy me a bigger one. Right back in there, push it tight, line this bar up. Can you see the little bar right there?
I have it, yes.
Okay, you line that up so it's in the center. There we go. Okay, let's go cut some lumber. So I didn't really have a ladder or anything. So I made this little homemade jig here. Just kind of line it up. This log's got a little bit of a twist to it, so we're gonna be a little awkward. That's okay. That is the way wood comes. My other choice would have been to put the crown either up or down, and kind of seems like there's no real good way to do this. So I made this little jig out of some 2x4s and a 2x6, some scrap I had laying around. Just a temporary thing, but you know how temporary things go. This one seems to be lasting, and quite honestly, I'll probably just keep using it. You see, now I have a nice flat top. I screwed it down, by the way, with 3.5-inch star drives and a fender washer. Makes it easy to just continue to reuse it, but there's a slab. I'm using those to for spreaders on my footings. Sweep it off, and this thing looks more like a banana than it does a log. So I'm going to have to get tricky here, because we'll end up with just a 2x4. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how I solve my problem. Rather than lose half my board. Normally it hooks on the end, but for some reason this end has kind of got a beveled cut on it. So we're going to do this. So we'll get a 6.5 footer, and we'll get a 9.5 footer. So that'll work. Okay. Now that we got that first cut, we want to cut boards, since it's for the foundation, that are 1.5 inches. Okay. underneath, and as I go along I raise the board up. But got all about that. So I basically have two boards. Let's see what we got. So we got one board from here, one board from here. And as you can see, we have one straight edge, about a 2x8. Goes up to 9.5, and right here in the middle we get to 10. So this guy we got to get 7 inches here, which is okay because my footings are supposed to be 7 inches deep. So that works out perfectly. Here's our little deck. You can see we have lots of nice long boards with straight edges, at least one straight edge. These guys here, I kind of cut both sides just because of the way it worked. It's easy enough to run the skill saw down there. Most of these guys are live edge on one side. And we did the math, kind of went through roughly, and that's approximately $1,000 worth of lumber if we went to the Oak Harbor Home Depot. Well, that's it for our Alaska chainsaw mill video and our lumber, about $1,000 worth of lumber. Got a lot of other things I want to post. I just hate taking the time to do the editing and all that kind of stuff, but I'll try to be a little more consistent for the few people out there who like to follow us and all the friends and family who are trying to keep up. Today's pouring down rain, so I'm inside. But anyway, Singing Nettle Farms, signing out. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.